How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be checking out a video called Why Amsterdam Airport is So Busy Even with Little Population. I'll be going to the Amsterdam Airport in next April, so almost a year from now. Pretty excited. I want to learn a little bit about it. The only airport, well, I guess technically two airports I've been to because I went to Florida when I was a teenager. So we went from the Indianapolis airport to the one in Orlando. So that's my only experience. That was 20 years ago. A lot of people don't realize it. I'm like 38 years old. A lot of people think I'm in like my mid 20s, but uh, nope. I wish I was. But anyways, oh yeah, links down below for this. Thanks for watching with me. And the channel is Broadway. Instead of Broadway, it's Broadway with a V. But anyhow, let's check this out, guys.
Amsterdam Schiphol is the third busiest airport in Europe. Excluding Istanbul, amongst the top three are London Heathrow, Amsterdam Schiphol, and Paris Charles de Gaulle. Now, what's different about Amsterdam here is the population. Heathrow serves London, which has a population of about 8.9 million.
Okay.
Paris itself, excluding surrounding communes, has a population of 2.1 million. But surprisingly, Amsterdam has a population of just 822,000 people. Yet its airport is being compared to massive cities like London and Paris. Now, for those of you who think that this traffic might be because of tourism in the Netherlands, it is not. The Netherlands does have decent tourism because of Amsterdam, but it isn't as big as France or the UK, which are both in the top 5 of most visited European countries. So, why is Amsterdam Schiphol such a busy airport even though the city it is in has very little population?
Good question. Is it? Well, I mean, they're only basing it on the area that it's in, like that specific city, not realizing that there's a lot of other cities close by, right? I don't know about Paris, but like around here, you have like a big city, but then like around the big city, it'll just be like a bunch of emptiness, right? Not completely empty, but small little towns and stuff, nothing significant. So maybe Schiphol's just covering like a more broader area or something. I don't know.
Well, it's true that Amsterdam is not a big city, but if you put the whole Netherlands as a city, it suddenly becomes very big, certainly bigger than both Paris and London.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly the case with Amsterdam Airport. The Schiphol Airport is geographically nearest to Amsterdam, but in reality, it serves the whole Netherlands. I say this because Amsterdam has the only airport in the Netherlands with flights outside of Europe. It's not the only airport.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say because there's other airports because people were saying something about flying to Maastricht or something, but okay, so I guess it's the only international airport. That makes sense.
There are other airports as well,
Right.
but most of them are only used for military or general aviation purposes and are much smaller. For example, the second busiest airport, Eindhoven, average about 70 flights per day, and the third one, Rotterdam, about 30, while Amsterdam nears about 800.
Oh,
Apart
wow.
from Schiphol, Rotterdam and Eindhoven are the only two airports in the Netherlands which have somewhat of a presence. But again, they do not have any sort of long-haul flights or international connections. So, for international travel outside Europe, Amsterdam Schiphol is the only entry and exit point for flights in the Netherlands. Now, if you think, why is that? Why does the Netherlands have only one true international airport? Well, that's because it only needs one.
Yeah, I mean, the Netherlands is a pretty small country, so I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot of explaining to do, really. I mean, you know what I mean? So, um, oh, I had something else to say, guys. I'll think about it in a minute.
Considering the size of the Netherlands, one works just fine. To put it into perspective, Netherlands is just twice the size of New Jersey. The length of the country is about 400 kilometers, and Amsterdam is just in the center, which means if anyone from the farthest has to come to Schiphol, will have to travel just about 200 kilometers,
Right.
which is not so bad, considering the well-connected national rail network in the country. Now, if the Netherlands
It's half the size of the state of Indiana, which is the state that I live in. It's basically like, I mean, it might be a little bit more than a half because it said it was like 47% of the land area of Indiana, right? Well, there's like the big water and stuff like that in the middle of the Netherlands, so that's going to make it more spread out and everything. But the actual land mass is supposed to be like 47% of the same size as the state of Indiana.
only has one international airport which connects outside Europe, this means that this is the only place where international tourists can land. And even though the Netherlands doesn't have big tourism compared to other European countries like France and Italy, it adds significantly to the airport numbers.
I'm going to be being a tourist there. Which I may just like fly into Brussels. There's been a lot of comments talking about that. It may just be cheaper to fly into Brussels and then take a train into like the Netherlands from there. Not sure yet. Have to check into it still, of course.
That's because there is only one airport in the country, so all the traffic that is coming to the Netherlands is being concentrated at one airport. Besides, Amsterdam is generally the city most people tend to visit in the Netherlands, but it doesn't matter, because even if they wanted to visit any other city in the Netherlands,
I do.
they would still have to land at Schiphol, basically adding a country worth of passengers to one airport.
Well, I mean, I don't have to. I could go to Brussels, take the train. Definitely going to be visiting more than just Amsterdam. I do got to check Amsterdam out, of course. I got to check it out. But I'm going other places as well.
In other countries, let's say the UK, they have several airports with long connections, so the international traffic gets diverted between several
Okay.
cities, like in the
Yeah.
UK's case, it could be Manchester, Glasgow, or London. Now, internationally, the Amsterdam airport serves the whole country, but when it comes to domestic, it is not only the people of Amsterdam that travel through here. In reality, there are several other small cities around Amsterdam that add to Schiphol Airport's domestic traffic. For example, Haarlem, a city just outside Amsterdam, is served by Schiphol, and another one is Utrecht City. But that's not it. It goes even further.
Oh, Utrecht don't have its own airport, I guess? Okay.
Since the northern Netherlands doesn't have any commercial airport, provinces like Flevoland, Friesland, Drenthe, Overijssel, and Groningen adds up to the domestic traffic as well. This all adds up to about 4.5 million people. So, you
Yeah.
could say at least 4.5 million people in the Netherlands would choose Amsterdam for domestic use, and the whole Netherlands, which has a population of 17 million people, will use it for international. Now, 4.5 million is a far greater number than 800,000 of Amsterdam's population, but it still doesn't cover how many passengers that airport handles. If you take the example of Berlin, the number of passengers that traveled through Berlin Airport in 2022 is about 5 times the population of Berlin, while with Schiphol, it is 12 times, considering the population of 4.5 million. Although,
Wow.
we are still not counting Netherlands added international travelers, but even if we did, it won't cover from 12 to 5 times.
Is this inside the airport there? This looks like, is this a train? What is that? Is that a cafe?
It won't cover from 12 to 5 times. Well, if you are wondering how's that, it's because you don't necessarily need to have a big city nearby to have a big airport. I mean, of course, if you have a larger population, it would add to the passenger number, but a few other factors come to play here as well. To better explain it, let's take the example of Frankfurt Airport. It is a big airport serving a big city, but compared to Berlin, it is 5 times smaller, with about 700,000 people. Yet the capital city Berlin, with a population of 3.6 million, has an airport smaller than half that of Frankfurt. And not just the capital city, but other more populated cities like Munich and Cologne too have smaller airports than Frankfurt. Well, that's because of Germany's airline Lufthansa, which has its hub in Frankfurt, which automatically made Frankfurt a transit hub for basically the world. And the same is the case with Amsterdam. It's the only hub of its national airline, KLM.
Okay.
KLM has been
Yeah, so when you make that like the national, like when you make it the headquarters, it just becomes the international, like that's going to be like if that's the transit hub, then that's where people are going to be going. So I mean that makes sense. Everybody keeps saying I should go on KLM. All the flights that I'm seeing is either KLM or Iceland Air for the cheaper flights.
been very successful in selling its long-haul flights, creating a large business for Schiphol in transit passengers. In fact, almost one-third of passengers that travel through Schiphol are transit passengers. On top of that,
What does
the
that
airport
mean?
itself is phenomenal, so people choose it more often for a stop. Unlike Paris CDG or Heathrow, the airport follows a single main terminal concept, and so passengers don't have to move around a lot to get flights, and it is less stressful.
Cool.
This concept is really helpful for major hub airports, but unfortunately, only a few have this. In London, Heathrow requires
I wonder if Chicago has that, because that's probably where we're flying out from. I don't know what kind of airport Chicago is. Like, does it have like that kind of central hub kind of situation, or I don't know.
a tube transfer to get from Terminal 4 to 5, or Terminals 1 to 2 and 3 to 4. And at Paris Charles, you seem to be on a bus all the time. Just because of the better experience, a lot of people from the UK choose Amsterdam over Heathrow for an intercontinental flight.
Cool.
Usually, people from Glasgow or Edinburgh take a stop at Amsterdam while heading to long-haul routes that their home airports don't serve. And since KLM has a strong presence in both Glasgow and Edinburgh, the transit is seamless. Sometimes people might choose Amsterdam for affordability as well. KLM is often a cheaper option, so Amsterdam Airport would be much cheaper than the original destination in Europe someone wants to go to. So
Nice.
people would book flights to Amsterdam, and since Amsterdam has a railway station just below the airport, getting to other European cities is much easier. The train is right there at the airport,
Nice.
and not just 6 times an hour to Amsterdam, but high-speed trains that go to Rotterdam, Antwerp, Brussels, and Paris. All this with modern, attractive terminal buildings which encourage incredible ease of movement makes Schiphol very preferable. These factors might be little, but they do become a reason for someone, somewhere to take a stop at Amsterdam Schiphol. Now, lastly, the Netherlands is a highly industrial country and is the European hub for some of the largest companies in the world. It is also home to Europe's largest port, Port of Rotterdam, which brings several types of business trips. At last, the success of the Netherlands in making Schiphol a worldwide hub for planes and attracting people is the result of constant efforts made by the government. Although, it is important to mention that without KLM's success, Amsterdam Schiphol wouldn't be here.
Very cool, guys. So I don't know if I'm flying KLM or what. It's gonna either be that or Iceland Air, but I'm excited for sure. So Amsterdam Airport is just good. People just choose it. I wonder if it's just because the Dutch efficiency. They just figured it out. They just get, I mean, they just made a good airport. You know what I mean? So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have a super fun, awesome day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, bye.